So you know that you can, use find and it will find all, well, in this case, all the files in the current directory. I actually need to specify the directory I want to run that find, or the directory I want to find, right? Yeah, and of course you can actually use the output of find. So let's say for file in find do I know echo found, right? Or something, right? But if we make a script here, but it's gonna complain that for loops over find output are fragile. And the reason for that is if we have files with, well, I guess let's make a directory and let's make a file 1 and then make a file with some white space, so file 1 and file 2. Well, that's fine, but if we actually use that in a for loop, we have actually found 3, because the way this works here is it's going to iterate over the output of find, or the find is split into different parts based on white space. I think the default is any white space, so tabs, space, and new lines. And so since in this file we have white space in the file 2, right, it's going to split file n2 as different parts, right? So it's actually gonna find 3. So fix for this, I guess, what you can do is actually, well, we actually need to, let's make a script because I don't think it works if I don't know how to like make a new line in the terminal. So in the shell there's a special variable called ifs, which is the input field separators, which are the characters that are going to be used when word splitting a variable or something. So because by default it's going to be any white space, right, or whatever, what we can actually do is set the ifs ourselves. So here we're going to set it to the new line character, and why it's like this, I don't know. If you do this, I don't think it works. So you need to literally put the new line there, or this for tab, I guess. I know, I haven't tried it, but and so when it tries to split the find here, it's going to split it by new lines. And since find will output the files delimited by new lines, right? Like we have file 1, file 2 on different lines, right? It's going to actually work now. So if we actually, let's see if it works. Yeah, so now it's going to echo file 2 and not not separate them, right? But again, if your file contains a new line character, that will still break, but that's kind of deserved. And also don't forget to actually reset the ifs after using it. So like, I guess the better way to do it is put it here. I think this should work, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe you need to do this. I don't know. I don't know if you need to do this. So well, you can't actually unset ifs. Apparently, that will not work. But you can save the old ifs and then reuse it. Because if you don't actually go back to your previous ifs after setting your own ifs, when you use some command, like for example, you sometimes actually want to split your variable into different parts or something. Like for example, here I have set my ifs here, but I've set the old ifs and then reset the ifs. But when I didn't reset the ifs here, and I kept using the ifs, the new line as the ifs, when I try to use the flags here, which are flags I'm going to use for my for compiling my program, I guess, it's not going to actually split the flags into different arguments. It's going to pass it as one string, which when you want to like compile something, gcc wall error, I don't know, you actually want to keep this split, right? It's like different arguments, not like one string here. And since I didn't set it to the default ifs, it didn't see any new line obviously in the flags here, so it didn't split the thing, and so it doesn't work because, well, I'm trying to pass wall with error and stuff 03 as one string, and obviously GCC doesn't cannot interpret that correctly. So yeah, don't forget to do that. But yeah. Oh, and looking back, I didn't actually need the ifs in the script because, well, I'm not actually using the output of fine in a for loop. I'm not trying to split it into different parts, right? I'm just using it in this case statement to look for patterns. But yeah, so I didn't actually need it, but the point still stands. So whenever you're trying to pass a variable where you actually want it to be separate, you should make sure that you reset your ifs.